Hey, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, with some big news out of the city of New York, the state of New York. And Trump called this all. There was a town hall last night, and Trump just spilled the beans on the whole darn thing. I loved it. But I wanted to show you something really quick, just as a funny before we get rolling. And here you go. Check this out. I don't know how many of you have seen the Trump sneaker thing going on out there, but it's awesome. They're trying to say that Russia's supporting Trump now through sneakers. I got to do a video on it because it's absolutely hilarious. But you can either have the Trump sneakers or the clown shoes, which are the Biden sneakers, folks. Which do you choose? The clown show or Donald Trump? Smash that in there just to help out chat rate, just to answer that question. Trump sneakers or clown sneakers? Anyways, this is a huge story, and I want to ask you all a question. Why do you love America? And I can tell you why I love America. I love America because of the ideals of America. That would be our founding fathers, the founding principles of this country. I love America because of the land. I travel this great country a lot. I love American. I just love the land of America. It's so beautiful. I do not love the government. And as we see this kind of crap getting exposed more and more every day, it's absolutely shocking and appalling to witness. So this is a huge story of corruption out of New York. Like I said, Trump called that last night, but I have to mention my sponsor and mention that this is the free shipping ends on Sunday. This is a big promo they've got going right now. They don't offer it out to everybody, but they did give it to me. They must really love me over there. Mike likes me anyways. But go over to mypillow.com, use promo code Lumberjack, and up until Sunday, you can get free shipping, but then it ends. I get the MyPillow 2.0. I've been raving about those Giza sheets. I just got the flannel ones. I had those sitting around. I hadn't tried them before because I love the regular Giza sheets so much. Oh, those flannel, they are the best flannel sheets I've ever had. So go get yourself some of those, whatever. Support Mike Lindell, the greatest election integrity warrior that we have seen in modern history. And you can support the show, and you get to save money, and you get free shipping. It is the quadruple dip. So let's get into the news. I'm going to share a clip for President Trump. And there's two clips merged together here. So watch these, and then I'm going to share the big news report that actually will show you Trump was right again.
In the Bronx or at Madison Square Garden. When might that be happening?
Very soon. Look, we have 9 months yet, but I'm going to see about Madison Square Garden, and we're going to go to the South Bronx, and we're going to go to Queens and other areas, because if you look at what's happened in New York, I'm not even blaming the mayor. I think the mayor has sort of been told to take a back seat a little bit because they came after him violently. You know, they came after him like they're going to indict him when he started speaking up, and now he's become quiet.
Okay, do you guys all, I'm sorry, I removed the wrong thing. Do you guys all remember when they went after Mayor Eric Adams as he started saying that illegal immigration was a problem? Do you all remember this? Okay, and then all of a sudden you didn't hear a lot on Mayor Eric Adams. Well, now there's a big bombshell story out of New York dealing with Mayor Adams. But I want to see how many of you guys remember this. He immediately clammed up. It was like, oh, immigration is this big problem. We need help from the federal government. Now, interestingly, Mayor Adams did talk about shipping them back to Mexico, which we're going to see another great clip by Trump. Oh, his town hall was hot last night. So I'm going to share some clips from that on this show. But he went silent, but he was talking about how he needed more help from the federal government. So now I got to ask you, where is all this money coming from? Watch this report.
There are questions tonight about a controversial program launched by the Adams administration to give migrant families prepaid debit cards to buy food and other things they need.
CBS 2's political reporter Marsha Kramer is here to sort it all out. Marsha.
Well, Dick and Dana, Mayor Adams says giving asylum seekers debit cards to buy their own food will save the city millions. But the head of the city council's Oversight and Investigations Committee wants to know why the city issued a $53 million no-bid contract without seeing if it could get a better deal.
By the way, folks, how many of you are getting big prepaid debit cards from the government? Now, we don't even want prepaid debit cards, but have any of you been getting this treatment? My friend David Clements, he's going out to CPAC to man the J6er booth, going through airport security. He's getting screened all the time. They have special lines set up for the illegals. No screening. This is nuts.
I think you should bid it out to see who would do the best job at the best cost for taxpayers.
Councilmember Gail Brewer says she wants to investigate a pilot program launched by Mayor Adams to give asylum seekers prepaid debit cards that will allow them to buy food, baby products, and other necessities at supermarkets, bodegas, groceries, and convenience stores. The $53 million contract reviewed by CBS 2 gives the firm Mobility Capital Finance lots of fees for services, including $125,000 one-time setup fee, $250,000 in annual management fees, and fees based on how much money is distributed to migrants, $1.5 million for the first $50 million handed out, $2.5 million for the next $100 million.
People, do you see this? They're getting rewarded for handing out more money. More money gets you a bigger reward. Where is the money coming from? Where is this money coming from? And this is a no bid contract. Now, it's kind of interesting there, but I think Ms. Brewers or Mrs. Brewers, whatever she is going to have some trouble after this report. Because, look what happened to Mayor Adams. You think they're going to go soft on Brewers for contesting this stuff?
The pilot program will involve 500 families staying in short-term hotels like the Row and the Watson. According to the contract, the most a card can have is $10,000, but most cards will be refilled every 4 weeks.
Refilled every 4 weeks. Okay. People, have you ever worked in a grocery store? Anybody who's worked in a grocery store, tell me if I'm wrong on this. I saw this all the time. Back when there was food stamps, there was corruption with food stamps, and they're saying, oh, they're gonna use this for what we intend them to use it for, which is food and groceries. Look, I'm just talking about like the semantics of this now, but the big problem is that they're giving it to them in the first place. But they're trying to cloak this as some sort of integrity program where they're able to get the people these essential services. That's crap. That's a load of crap. Because when I worked in the grocery store, people would sell their food stamps so that they could then get money. They would sell the food stamps at a reduced rate to somebody else. And let's say 60% of value. So say they bought $100 in food stamps for $60. That person would take the $60, go turn it into alcohol, go turn it into cigarettes, whatever, to feed their vices. That's what goes on with this money. Smash that like if you would, please. This story gets even crazier. Watch this.
A family of 4 can get about $1,000, $35 a day, and they can buy whatever food they want to eat.
I don't know exactly how it's going to work. In other words, I do say from the release that it would be for diapers and baby products and food, but you have to be careful that that's what it's actually going to be for.
And how are they going to ensure that? They can't ensure that. Okay.
Mayor Adams insists it's an innovative way to save money and prevent food waste because many asylum seekers don't eat the food they were given in the hotels and shelters. He said if the pilot program is successful,
it is going to save us in the area of $7.2 million a year. I believe $600,000 a.
This is not saving them jack. If you want to save the money, send them back to Mexico. Send them back to Panama. Send them back to China, because that's another big story we're going to get into in this live.
Month.
Were there other people that could have provided the same service for less money? Are you getting the best bang for your buck?
Without a doubt.
The mayor.
Without a doubt, they're getting the best bang for the buck on a no-bid contract. Are you kidding me? He doesn't know that. It's a no-bid contract. You know what that means, right? There's no other bids. Watch why he gave it to him. This is nuts.
Insisted that part of the allure of the company is that it was a minority-owned firm.
MWBs, women and minority-owned businesses have historically been locked out. So I know I'm disrupting what people traditionally would like for us to do.
So now giving out no-bid contracts is a problem because it might affect minority-owned businesses or women-owned businesses. What's he saying? That these businesses charge more? He just said in one sentence, excuse me, I'm so worked up. He says in one sentence, without a doubt, we're getting the best deal. And then the next sentence, he basically admits that he's not. This is nuts.
Now, the mayor, who has a penchant for surrounding himself with friends and acquaintances, insisted he had no personal relationship with the owner of the company. He said, and I quote, "We don't hang out in the Hamptons together or go to baseball games together." And that's what he had to say.
All right, Marcia, thanks very much.
Oh, yes. Thanks very much, Marcia. We don't together. We don't hang out at baseball games together, because that's what the average citizen of New York is doing, is going to the Hamptons. Seriously. I mean, he just shows how out of touch he is with everybody. And like I said, Trump called all of this. You know, some point along the way, they got to Eric Adams by threatening criminal prosecution of him. Now that story's disappeared into Never Never Land. And, you know, and now he's acting the part of the criminal they need him to be, to pilfer money from the taxpayers, funnel it through some money laundering operation to give it to certain businesses, and then to give it to illegals so they can fund the invasion of the United States of America. That's what's going on. Hey, I see Unwoke Thoughts on. So thanks for joining us this morning. This is nuts. Okay. This is, to think that this is actually happening is bizarre. But let's get on to some Donald Trump, because this will set our world right. Donald Trump did a town hall last night with Laura Ingraham, and it was phenomenal. I've been watching the clips of this, and it's great. So here, let's listen to this. This is going to deal exactly with the migrant issue. Listen to how Donald Trump, because everybody's like, he can't do that. How can he do that? Watch.
The questions we've been hearing from voters here is, how do you plan to deport the millions of people? I mean, there's probably 12, 13 million people under Biden alone that have come here. And how will it work?
It's going to work that we get the bad ones out first. They're coming in from prisons. They're coming in from jails and mental institutions.
How will you find them?
We're going to find them through local police. Look, the local police, they're so phenomenal. I love them. They love me. I think I have 97% support. They know everything. They know the first names. They know everything. And it's a new category. I don't know if you've heard this, but I came up with this one: migrant crime. There's crime, there's violent crime, there's migrant crime. We have a new category of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's going to be worse than any other form of crime. You look at New York City, what's going on where they attack police. They want to fight police officers. Our criminals don't even do that so much, okay? I've never seen them having fistfights with the police officers in the middle of the street. And we have to do something about it. These are tough people. Don't forget, they're not sending their finest. I know all the leaders of the South American.
Well, they really hit you when you said that in 2015. You said they're sending it. And now, all these years later.
Everything turned out to be right.
Well, CBC.
See, Trump turned out to be right again. You know, they did this. And what's interesting is he talks about this, is he's right. And this is why local in elections is so important. Because local people know the people. They can vet that election process. Local cops know the people. They know the names. They work the beat. And if we want to, it's not that big of a deal to deport people. Okay, look at how easy it is to bring them all in. If it's that easy to bring them all in, then certainly we can send them back on the same freaking airplanes. Don't buy that crap for a second. Anyways, it's just, I can't believe the arguments that are presented in the mainstream media that are against this, because it makes absolutely no sense. By the way, I've got the mypillow.com promo code up there. It is the last week to get free shipping. Go over there and support Mike Lindell. Support the show. Use promo code Lumberjack at mypillow.com. Free shipping this week.
Is telling us that.
Unfortunately.
Customs and Border Patrol announced yesterday that just in 3 days, 452 Chinese. Mr. President, one of the.
Okay. 452 Chinese across the border. There's over 10,000 Chinese have come in through our southern border right now.
Questions we've been hearing from voters here is.
Oh, shoot. I got this screwed up. Hold on. When I put the video together,
October.
Yep.
Okay. Does this concern you more than?
So there in October alone, they were talking about the Chinese nationals. And then so this is on the Chinese nationals. She's asking the question.
And other immigrant groups.
Probably it would, because it's China, and maybe what are they building an army in between? It was 29,000 people in the last year. Think of it, 29,000 people, and most of those people were young, male, fighting age, okay? So
what's going on?
Look, you want to give the benefit of the doubt, but China was number one. And you look at Yemen, now they're coming in with bombing. Here we go again with this guy bombing everything, gets no respect. He bombs and bombs, and bombing Yemen.
Well, they're bombing
and we have a lot of Yemenis are coming into our country. We have people.
Did you see how Laura Ingraham had to get her Fox News talking point in there? Well, they're bombing us. Yes, they are, because they don't respect us, because Biden's weak and everybody knows it. All he's going to do is launch some missiles, launch some bombs. He doesn't care about people. Everybody knows that. Everybody can see his corruption on the national stage. So therefore, we have no respect.
Coming in from everywhere. They're coming in from the Congo. They interviewed some people last night. Where are you from? Congo. Where did you live? Prison. They're emptying out their prisons into.
What's the first thing you will do if you become president again on the border? I know that's going to be your first.
There's two things I'm going to do. Number one is drill, baby, drill. And the other thing, equal, is we're going to, look, I had the safest border in the history of our country, recorded history, because I can't tell you about 1,000 years ago, but recorded history of the border by far. We had it down pat between guys like Tom Homan and Brandon Judd and unbelievable people that you have on your show. We had a great, all Biden had to do is stay at the beach. You know, he goes to the beach. Somebody said he
is so funny. All Biden had to do was stay at the beach. He's there all the time anyways. We know somebody else is running the show. We think it's Obama.
Looks great in a bathing suit. So he goes to the beach. If he went to the beach and didn't do it, but he canceled everything. Remain in Mexico. Catch and release. We have catch and release, but we had release in Mexico.
Why were you against the House, against the Senate border deal, the bipartisan border?
Well, they allow 5,000 people a week, but a lot of people took it as 5,000 people a day. They said 5,000 people a week, and you read it, and it says 5,000 people a day. Number one, that, but it also made it much better for the opposing side.
Regularize, manage the crisis.
You couldn't manage it. It was so complex. You're talking about, first of all, if you want to close the border, you're president. I didn't have any legislation. I had people opposed to me very strongly, including Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan and Nancy Pelosi. That was a little triumvirate.
See that? Paul Ryan, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, the rhinos in concert with the Democrats opposing Donald Trump. It was so hard for him to get anything done, even when he had supposedly a Republican Senate and a Republican House. He's bringing up a big, huge point that a lot of people miss, okay? Everybody was opposed to him, and he was still able to do it as the president. And Biden says he can't unless he gets this legislation. He's calling BS.
And what I did after a year, I said, you know what, these people, I took the money out. We built 571 miles of border wall, and that's what made our border so good. We did another thing. I got 28,000 soldiers from Mexico. I sent to the president of Mexico, who I really like a lot. I think he's a terrific guy. He's a socialist, but a terrific guy, and he's fantastic, actually, in a lot of ways. I said, we need 28,000 soldiers to guard our border. He said, you got to be kidding.
Well, Biden
I ended up getting, free of charge, 28,000. We had the safest border we've ever had. Now, we have the most unsafe, we have the worst border in the history of the world. There's never been a border of any country anywhere in the world that's been like
Biden has announced, well, they've hinted that he's going to come out with a border executive order.
I want to say something on this, with that border wall. Did you guys see the new border that they're putting up over in the Middle East, the new border wall over there? Again, Egypt has that massive border wall. Now they're even putting up more border walls because they want to keep people out. And here we can't build a border wall. It's complete crap. We've got criminal elements infiltrating our country, and they're telling us we can't build a border wall or that it's too expensive. And yet they're giving all this money to the illegals. It's crap. It's complete crap. This whole narrative that they run on mainstream media is complete BS. And Mayor Adams saying that we're going to save money by giving people money. Gosh, that's like when there's a budget, people. How many of you actually know when they talk about saving money in Washington, D.C., they're not actually, they say, well, we're cutting the budget. They're not cutting the budget. They're decreasing the increase. So they say, oh, we got this budget with this much increase baked into it. Now we're going to take 1% off the increase. Now 1% off the bottom line that you spent the previous year. See, to us, budget cutting is actually cutting what we spend. This is freaking nuts.
On the border to clamp down on illegal immigration before the State of the Union message. I thought he said he didn't have the executive authority.
So I do believe that he's baked in. I don't think he can ever even come close unless people are really stupid, which they're not. The public is much smarter than the politicians. He's not going to be able to change. He's not going to be able to change it. He's destroyed our country. This guy is destroying our country.
People, it's true. He is destroying, absolutely destroying our country. I got more from Trump coming up, but I don't think this is an argument we can win, and you can win it with your friends, neighbors, and relatives. And if you want it, we have to. Trump said it last night. We have to swamp this election. You have got to get all your friends, drag them to the polls, and tell them, what, do you want the open border? Do you want more criminal elements coming in? Do you want them giving big gift cards to illegals while you're struggling to pay your bills? They're robbing from you. They hate you. This current administration hates you. So you got to talk to the people. All right.
When Biden ran, he pledged he was going to pick a female vice president in 2020. What quality?
So this is where we get into the vice president, and somebody suggested that we do a poll. Okay. So I saw early on in the comments as we were just starting this stream, somebody asked to do a poll. So do this for me as this goes on. And he talks about the candidates for vice president that he's looking at. I want you to chat in with who you think should be VP. So just flood the chat with those. I'll try and watch them as they come in and see what you guys think. Try and get a number, a guesstimate.
What qualities are you looking for in your vice presidential pick?
Well, always the first quality has to be somebody that you think will be a good president, because if something should happen, you have to have somebody that's going to be a great president. A lot of people are talking about that gentleman right over there. And he's been so great. He's been such a great advocate. I have to say, this is in a very positive way, Tim Scott. He has been much better for me than he was for himself. I watched his campaign, and he doesn't like talking about himself, but boy, does he talk about Trump. And I said, I called him. I said, Tim, you're better for me than you were for yourself. But he's fantastic, and he's a fantastic person.
Someone who can step into the role.
Most importantly, you have to view that.
The audience has been asked who they think would be a good choice, and various names came up. One of them was, of course, Vivek Ramaswamy. He's made a big splash. Ron DeSantis, who's making an appearance today in South Carolina, we just found out. Obviously, Tim Scott, Byron Donalds, and a big presence here for Tulsi Gabbard. Very interesting. And Kristi Noem as well, I should say.
Right.
Are they all on your short list? And when can we expect that you will announce your choice?
The one thing that always surprises me is that the VP choice has absolutely no impact. It's whoever the president is. It just seems. I remember when Sarah Palin was actually picked, and she did have a big up, and then they just went after her at a level that nobody's seen. The Republicans themselves went after what they did.
But you'll be a one-term president because you've already served, so you can only serve for one term, although they say you'll never leave office. I assume you'll never leave. There'll never be another election
don't
again.
Don't do it. He'll never leave. He's never going. Oh, these people.
So for that reason, it is important who you pick.
So I think it's very important. But look, first is that, as we said, it has to do with whoever is, it's a very important position for that reason. You would like to get somebody that could help you from the voter standpoint. And honestly, all of those people are good. They're all good. They're all solid. And I always say, I want people with common sense, because there's so many things happening in this country that don't make sense. Who wants an open border? Who wants high interest rates? Who wants all electric vehicles? And they're fine, but you want to have choice. You want to go to combustion. You want to go to any hybrid. I think the hybrid are much better from that standpoint. But you talk.
Okay, folks, I'm going to let him finish. But I looking at the numbers here, Vivek has it with the audience. Some people say he's an op. Some people have said no. Tulsi Gabbard, a lot of people here in my audience understand Tulsi Gabbard. And have said no. I agree. I'm not a Tulsi Gabbard fan, but and then a lot of people on Sanders too. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts. The one thing I do know is when the vice president goes through the most intensive opposition research type of drama of anybody. They get literally asked questions about every single crazy aspect of their life, because the one thing that the vice president cannot do is be a liability on the presidential ticket. So Trump's going to be doing research on these people. He's going to climb through they're going to climb through their life with a fine-tooth comb. It's going to be wild.
We were talking about faucets. We're talking about so much. It's all based on common sense. We want a strong military. We want choice in education. We want to have things that can really make our country great again. What we're doing with the open border is a disaster. We are destroying our country. We're going to change that fast, and we're going to get your energy prices down.
Mr. President, thank you so much for this. The audience has been asked.
So there, I mean, again, we're getting a lot of comments, a lot of different calls. Again, MyPillow free shipping till Sunday, people. This is rare that we're able to offer this. Usually you pay for shipping at mypillow.com. Use promo code Lumberjack, big savings and free shipping right now. But again, a lot of Ben Carson's too, but Don Jr. was another mention in here. And a lot of people are like, no, not Vivek. Here we go, right here. No, not Vivek. No, not him. So people have different thoughts on the guy. I don't know. Like I said, there's going to be a research done on these candidates. They're going to be climbing through their underwear drawer. It's going to be like an FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago, man. So I don't know who it's going to be, but I'm just eager for the Biden clown show to end. I'd take golden sneakers over clown shoes any day of the week, people. We have got to end this, but share this information out with everybody about what's going on in New York, because it's going to piss them off. I mean, we're just going to award no-bid contracts to provide gift cards, and somehow that saves us money. No, sending them back, closing the border, that would save us money. They talk about the expense of the wall. The expense of the wall is nothing in comparison to the expenses that we have in providing for these people. They get hotel stays, gift cards, food, phones, all of it. And they dump on Americans. Our government hates you, the American citizen. It's pathetic. All right. Ivanka, I see, gosh, all kinds of different drill, baby, drill. All right. Thanks so much for listening to another edition of Lumberjack Logic, folks. We'll see you on the next episode. Remember, go check out mypillow.com. Use promo code Lumberjack for big savings and free shipping right now. If you're new, please do subscribe. We'll see you on the next episode. And peace out, folks.